Okay, here's another little project for my channel here. What I'm doing here is I'm just making a generator that better suits my needs, really. Because the problem with my current setup is when I do need to occasionally use a generator to charge my batteries up, it's kind of pointless because it's really slow. Because what I'm doing is I'm using a general generator that produces out 240 volts, and then I've got a normal 240 volt 10 amp charger, plugged to my battery bank. And you can imagine, like, the battery bank, all I've got is 3 batteries, but there's 450 amps of batteries there. So 10 amp hour charging is really slow. So what I'm doing is I'm making my own sort of generator slash fast charger, I guess you call it. And the way I'm doing that is I got a lawnmower that I don't really use anymore. It's just an old one I picked up for free anyway. So it's just a little Briggs & Stratton 148cc engine. So that should be plenty enough to turn an alternator. Same thing that's in your car. This actually came out of a car. It came out of my old cars that died, so I hocked it for parts. But yeah, this will be able to put out 100 amp hours. That's the difference between your plug-in chargers and like car alternator. Car alternators will actually put out 100 amps straight away. So the beauty of using this is when I do turn this generator on, even if the batteries are dead flat, as long as this is running, I don't have to separate the 240 volt power. Like, I don't have to run a separate lead I don't have to unplug from my inverter, plug into the generator, and plug the charger in. I don't have to do any of that shit, because this will literally put out, it will charge the batteries while simultaneously putting out enough current to power my fucking inverter that is already hooked up to my main system. So basically, this will work a lot better for me, I think. Like, it will charge the batteries a lot quicker. It's 100 amp hours, so give it 3 hours as opposed to fucking a gazillion hours. I'm not going to do the math, it's a lot to charge. It'll take about 3 hours or so, 4 hours or so to charge with this. And like I said, at the same time, it'll also be able to power my system. And also, if you really want to, you could even hook up a inverter directly to the positive and negative cable of that alternator, and then this will turn this little system into just a regular, inverter generator. But yeah, so I've gotten started by removing the motor from the lawnmower. I'm just letting it sit for a bit because I had the lawnmower sitting up and everything. It's a 4-stroke, so got to make sure that oil settles, and I'm going to check it. I might even do a oil change on it. Remove this. That's just sort of bracket from another project in the past I was doing, but I'm not anymore. But yeah, that also is all good. But basically, all I'm planning on doing is simply making a little box frame to mount this motor to that's tall enough so this alternator can sit underneath it, type thing. So it'll be a nice little neat, basically it won't be any bigger than the size of this motor, and then it'll be a nice little neat box frame underneath it that's tall enough to sit that alternator without touching the ground. And I'm planning on just basically putting a couple tack welds on that directly to the bottom of the motor. I shouldn't really turn this again, should I? Just weld it directly onto that, but making it so if I ever do happen to want to remove it, all I've got to do is just grind those tacks and it'll come off. But yeah, we'll see how that works anyway. Like, we'll let that engine sit for a bit, and then I'll weld together the frame and that, and yeah, we'll try and do this all in one video, see if it works. See you in a bit. Well, slight change of plans, but I think this is better. What I've done is I just found, this is a little bracket from the first battery box I made. I've just welded that onto this old trolley, and then I've bolted the motor down at one point so it's a pivot, so you can swing it out this way if I want to do anything, and swing it back in, and I've just got a strap there just to hold it in place. But it actually works pretty well. Like, the motor runs well. Like, we'll give it a start. I'll look it down. It all works, and it doesn't vibrate or anything. It actually holds on there nice and steady. And then I've just got this socket fitting on here. So I've just, I've got it's actually from a drill, a bit dodgy, but it works. I've just put that up there and they're hard, so it's wedged, so it spins with that. And then I've put the socket size for, I've got a couple alternators here because I've got to test them, but it'll fit that nut there. And so all I've got to literally do, actually I'll get one to show you. It's just clunk that on there, mount the alternator somehow, and then that'll work. And by having it on the trolley, it just makes it really easy to move it around anywhere you need to go. So yeah, that's a bit of progress. I'll continue on with this. Hopefully my mate coming around is going to give me a hand. We'll see if he does or not. Anyway, we'll continue on later. Okie doke, so I've got it all mounted up now with my very professional scrap timber jobby. I've just screwed that there, and you can see there's the arms of the thing. They just wedge, I've just got them wedged tightly on there. We'll screw the hole in place. That goes underneath the wedget there, and then I've got the safety screw there to hold it from when to spin that way. But as dodgy as that is, it actually is very rigid. I can't move around. I've got the alternator wired up, so that's my positive lead there, and then the negative's just on the alternator somewhere, so you just get a jumper lead attached there. But we'll give her a start up and get the multimeter on it to see what's happening, eh? There's no battery connected, but that's putting power out. So yeah, just putting current out, not 14 volts, but so we'll connect a battery up to it now and test the currents there and see if there's a difference, huh? Alright, so I've got a battery connected up here. It's currently at 12.2, so it's not dead, but like this will throw out 14.4, so this will be able to see if the alternator is working and if I've wired everything up right. So let's give this a shot, eh? Well, I think I've done something right, because I don't know if you can hear that little beeping, because this is actually usually for your ignition switch here. So I think that's the little capacitor going off. So we'll get this multimeter connected up here. Oh, it was a bad jumper cable before as well, that's why it didn't work. So this is round 2. Just really should do this stuff before filming, eh? There we go. Okay, so we've got 12.1. Let's start her up again. There we go, that works perfectly. So that is now a portable battery fast charger. I can charge at 100 amps now instead of 10. So I'm using fuel more conservatively and also having an actual effective charger. Boom! I'm pretty happy with that. As dodgy as it is. Alright, I'll catch us in the next one, guys. That's actually a pretty successful video, I think. Bye. I am a genius.